So yeah. So let's talk about Fortnite. Let's talk about Fortnite and Star Wars for a minute.
Literally a minute,
right?
starting now.
All right. So the last season and a little bit once over the summer, they did these little mini season passes where in addition to the regular season pass, they released these free mini season passes that only last 3 weeks. And if you do all the challenges, you would get some neat stuff, some
How
neat
much?
free stuff. They were free.
Oh, free. Okay.
Free mini season passes. So imagine my surprise when I woke up on my birthday to see that not only were they doing another one of these unannounced, like a big surprise drop for Star Wars week, but
Ship just got it.
I missed it. Anyway,
yes.
So they have this.
30 seconds.
A Star Wars mini pass, but for the first time they did it in 2 tiers. There is the free one where you could get a free clone trooper skin and all sorts of accoutrement that go with it. But if you wanted to pay an extra 1,000 V-Bucks, which is fairly inexpensive for what you get, you would get 3 more clone trooper skins and Darth Maul. So a second supplementary season pass that has 5 skins, one of them being Darth Maul. It's really exciting. It's really smart because it's got obviously people talking about it and playing the game.
Is this Darth Maul with robot legs?
No, this is regular. This is Darth Maul. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's doesn't feel nickel and dimey. What I was going to say, what I think is, more relevant maybe to your interest and just games as service in general is that they didn't just come out and say, oh, by the way, here's a mid-season pass. Here's how we're going to charge you for everything. They kind of like built their way up to it. They did, the first one they did was the Dragon Ball Z one, which was okay. It didn't have great stuff in it, but it was free. Then they did a second one, which was all Fortnite original stuff, but had really cool stuff in it, but it was also free. Now they're like, and here's one for Star Wars. If they charge 1,500 V-Bucks for the Darth Maul skin alone, which would have been basic, that's like the normal price for a licensed skin, no one would complain. And instead they're going to charge 1,000 V-Bucks and you get 5 clone troopers and a Darth Maul as well. It's just a really smart way to get
a lot of clone troopers.
It's a lot of clone troopers. Why
do you need 5 clone troopers?
Because it's fun.
But what does that mean? 5?
There's like the one you ever play the game Republic Commando back in the day?
Oh, I get it. Right. It's like the fat one, the tall, skinny one.
No, there's like orange paint on it. Orange paint.
Oh, that's Nintendo NES hockey. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway.
The average guy.
Yeah.
He's good at everything. He's like just okay at everything.
Just like the different paint colors.
So what you're saying is, if I'm following you clearly, is you like Fortnite and Star Wars, and now they've put them together.
I like Fortnite. Again. I like Star Wars.
Again.
They put them
together again, but they did it in a smart way where I don't feel like I'm being bled dry of money.
Right.
And I appreciate that they did that in this way, because I feel where a lot of these other games and services go wrong is they don't know how to monetize it in a way that the consumer doesn't feel like they're getting beaten up by the game.
Right.
Does Darth Maul have his floating rascal scooter?
He does. He has it. No, he doesn't. Unfortunately,
doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
His legs float behind him.
You get his glider is his spaceship is the glider for him. Not the scooter. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that Epic Games is able to deliver some good value to the customer after paying off over $500 million fine to the FTC for shady business practices. Like
in the past, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, that's like we're talking like fucking Fox News Dominion territory here in terms of settlements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like we're almost there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Yes. But anyway. Other service games, Multiverses or Speedway or whatever the hell, the Mickey's Racing, and
I'm still playing some of that. That's still a lot of currencies.
I mean, there's so much that could be learned from the leaders of the industry that for some reason just feels like they see one thing, but they don't understand what makes it successful. All they see is people are buying stuff. We need to add stuff for people to buy,
Right.
but they don't quite get that it's not, there's like a build up to it too. You want to like start, you gotta hook people in, like drugs. You got to give them a taste.
Use the dark patterns to get them hooked in.
Yeah.
And then you pay the fine later. Don't even worry about it. It's fucking $500 million. What's up? You're making so much money. Just
exactly.
don't worry about it. Well, we got a lot here.
Yeah.
So everybody wants us to talk about Xbox because like that's been like the news item this week or last week because Phil Spencer went on like Kind of Funny Games and said things that probably see there's a reason why these guys usually don't go on like podcasts and stuff because then they say shit. They give bad sound bites. That's why PR hates when this shit happens. So he went on Kind of Funny and basically started talking about Xbox losing, which just is bad. I mean, okay, you can come across as humble, but PR wise, you don't really want like the head of the company talking about all the L's you're taking and how like you can't win really. Like there's nothing you can do to win. And that all may be 100% fucking true, but you don't necessarily want
you still need to say it
out loud, especially in like this, what would you call that? Like, this fan environment. It's not like he went on fucking Bloomberg to talk about the ins and outs of why they're losing.
I think he was, I can't speak for him, but I think there was an attempt to sound relatable.
Of course.
Like, hey
but
guys,
it's not his job.
I'm just like you with a lot more money, but I'm just like you. And I hear what you're saying. We're in third place and
we can't win.
They can't always win. And I'm like,
I didn't watch it. I only read like the articles about it.
I watched like the clips that were like going around on social media, but that was about it.
Was he wearing a t-shirt with sports jacket?
I think he was wearing a t-shirt. I don't think he was wearing a sports jacket.
Oh, see that?
Because he's relatable. He's just like you and me.
Well, I wouldn't have fucked up that whole Xbox thing, I
mean, they are in third place. I don't think there's a way of climbing out of that hole. I think they will be in third place.
Right. Sure, but you don't need to go on podcasts and talk about it. It's not selling. No one's going to feel bad for you and buy more Xboxes.
And you know what? Third place is fine.
Totally.
That's what I was going to say. I was literally about to say the same thing. I mean, if a genie came up to me right now and said, you'll be in this, the third leader in some industry. Would you take that wish? I'd be like, yeah.
In a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, exactly. He'll be number 3. I'm like, you don't see Dr. Pepper complaining.
Right. And, and I'm sure number 3, Dr. Pepper. What about RC Cola? They're complaining.
I don't think they're number 3. Exactly.
Right.
They would. RC Cola would love to be the number 3 soft drink company.
Right.
Do you know that Coca-Cola and Pepsi are not allowed to buy Dr. Pepper?
What do you mean?
Like there's a FTC regulation where they're not allowed to buy the. They both have wanted to buy the Dr. Pepper companies, but they're not allowed because it would be too
powerful.
It would be too powerful.
Dr. Pepper
they both distribute and bottle it in different regions, right?
There's something like I don't know. I just there's a little fun facts that I heard that could be completely untrue.
Right. Dr. Pepper is the Activision of the beverage industry.
Something like that. But
just be too powerful.
Xbox, you know what? I think Xbox could have a nice time being the Dr. Pepper. Although I think they'd rather be Pepsi. They're currently Dr. Pepper.
Which could be number 3 and have like the best streaming service, like the best cloud service, and have plenty of money coming in. So you didn't sell the most consoles.
I like Dr. Pepper more than Coke and Pepsi.
Exactly.
So it's the better soda. Let's face it.
Just don't talk about. You don't need to be humble when you're selling like a brand. You're not just selling a box, or I mean, he knows this, but like you're not. It's an idea. Like gamers want to win. They don't want to be attached to something that's taking L's.
You say like, sure, we're not number 1 in sales, we're number 2 in sales, we're number 3 in sales, but we still believe we have the best console and the best deal in the marketplace.
You can be humble without saying that you're a loser or losing. You can say you're working hard to bring the best games, but
can you say that?
But the problem is that they had a really bad.
You don't have to believe them.
It was during a bad week. I mean, trying to do damage control after Redfall. Did you play any of Redfall?
Right. That was this is all fallout from yes, that's correct. This is all fallout from Redfall. He was doing damage control, much like when Wombat was the featured gamer on Xbox Live, and we had to have Major Nelson come on our show. Or not Major Nelson, Major Nelson had the other guy come on the show. I think Phil was like, "Hey, I'm coming on your show. You're gonna have me on your show, and I'm gonna, talk about Xbox and how we're trying hard."
I mean, Redfall is not what people were expecting, and for a game that came out of the gate as this is going to be our big Bethesda spring release. It's a first party game from our new studio. It's got multiplayer. It's got single player. It's going to be on Game Pass, but if you don't have Game Pass, it's $70. Like, they were really touting this as their big next gen, big entry first party game, and it's not very good. I played it. The worst thing about it is that it's just kind of meh. It's not even that it's so bad. It's just kind of there.
It sounds like it doesn't do one thing really well. Like, not even one thing. Like, you can't even say like, oh, at least the shooting is super tight, or it sounds good, or it whatever.
There's a lot, like, the game feels like you ever play a game and there's like one element in it that feels like an afterthought, and you're like, oh, if they just didn't have this one thing in it, the game would probably actually be better. This game feels like it's all afterthoughts.
Right.
It feels very by committee. Like, I'm sure there was at some point they knew what kind of game they wanted to make, and then they just didn't make it. And it's, to be honest, if you play Dead Island 2 feels like what Redfall wants to be. Because they're so similar in so many ways. You just swap out zombies with vampires.
Oh, really? Okay.
Open world first person game fighting hordes of blank. But Dead
Island 2 is not really open world, even though it's sort of like open.
You know what? But I like open world ish because, but again, that's part of what makes Dead Island 2 better than Redfall.
Right.
Is there's not wasted space.
Right.
Because wasted space is worse than smaller environments.
See, I don't even want to waste the space on my hard drive to download Redfall after I heard how mediocre it is.
72 gigs. 72 gigs.
I downloaded it. I haven't tried it yet. I feel like I need to try it just to know, but that's not the greatest place you want to be on your exclusives. I want to try it just to know. Like, Sony wouldn't have released this.
No, they wouldn't have.
Right? Like,
so you know what though? I'm wondering if there would have been intervention sooner.
Maybe I wouldn't have gotten to this point at Sony. Like, right? Like, whether you like their exclusives or not, like, they all come out and they're polished enough, right? There's
at least an 8. It's at least an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10.
Right. There's there's a level of quality there that you're like, okay, this is going to be a good game. It might not be my thing or not, but it's going to be a good game. People are going to enjoy it. They're on Sony games. I think they keep their scope in check on a lot of their games to where it's a smaller, like, focused experience. Like, even like the Spider-Man games, for instance, right? Like,
all the Insomniac games.
It's an open world game, but it's not super huge. And the mechanics are really what keep you playing, right? Like, there's enough to do, but the mechanics are really tight and it looks nice.
Yeah,
right?
Which is important. Again, open world. If you're making an open world game, you need to look at that map and go, do I need all of this space? What is the point of this field right here in this map? Is it necessary, or should we be cutting out, this section of this map and making it a little bit smaller? Because I'd have no problem with a smaller map in an open world game if it means that there's less waste and yet somehow still more to do. But Redfall didn't seem to get that memo. Also, it's very bland looking for a game that's supposed to be, a $70 next gen game. I think part of their other problem was they slapped that next gen price on it. Even with Game Pass, there's still a perception of, okay, you're saying this is it. This is next gen. These
Right.
are the new prices.
Top
this
shelf.
is what you're top shelf. You're coming out of the gate with this at the top shelf price. I'm expecting a top shelf game. That's the consumer expectation. And if you can't fulfill it
Don't
at
release
that
it.
price,
Don't release it or drop the
Why
price.
do
Something.
why do you need to?
it?
Why do you need to release it?
Right.
Just hold on to it.
It's May. It's like
Right.
not exactly like the big month for game shopping.
I think they thought, maybe they thought because it was sort of a light month that they could get away with it. But again, it's so strange because I'm still playing Dead Island 2 to go from one to the other and seeing how similar they are and how much better one is than the other. Is Dead Island 2, don't get me wrong, it's not the
Let's
best
talk
game
about
I've
that.
ever-
Let's go into talking about Dead Island 2 now, since I've been playing a lot of that too.
Like, it's not good. It's not the greatest game ever made.
No,
but it's a lot of fun.
it's a straight up zombie killing simulator,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's all it's trying to be. It's trying to give you a nice environment to kill a lot of zombies in, and give you a nice assortment of weapons to do it with, and also
I was gonna say it's
environmental destruction as well.
It's
like
killing a lot of
weapons.
zombies in a lot of different ways, and that's where it succeeds. And it looks great doing it.
That's it, and that's all they're trying to do, and they're trying to give it like a little, humor to it, but just like the slightest taste of action RPG, because you're leveling up weapons and you're leveling up yourself too.
Have you found some good curveballs? I find that's the real key to that game. Is you got to find the right curveballs.
I found some, but I just used the Molotov and the bomb, pipe bomb or whatever. One of the bombs.
I have a sticky bomb.
Yeah.
And I have just a standard grenade. Which is actually kind of fun.
That sounds good. My go-to is the hunting rifle. I like the hunting rifle, and I aim for the legs. And you can blow the legs off of the zombies, and it looks very cool as they are walking, and then half their leg goes away, and then they just die and fall over.
Do you have the perk that when you maim a zombie, you get health back? Because I find
maybe.
That's
yes, I switched to that because you're shooting off the legs.
Because if you're shooting off the legs, then you want that perk because you get your health back every time you do it. I like.
What level are you?
What level am I? 22 or something like that?
Okay, you're a little ahead of me. I'm like 19.
Yeah, a little bit ahead of you. Not much, but yeah, there's some really, really cool stuff in that game. It just, again, it does, but it knows exactly what it is. It obviously takes time to be released, but
it also it's not frustrating in that it respects your time. When you die, it's like, all right, whatever. You just died, and you're gonna start over from like right here.
Yeah.
It's like not like no great loss.
And it saves constantly, and you're not, there. You could pause it.
Yeah, it's just, and it's got slow motion killings, which adds at least 1.5 to any review out of 10.
And it's the animations on those zombies is just gross and amazing all at the same time.
The gore, it's very gory.
It's very gory. I'm a melee weapon guy. I switch up to just different ones. I like the wrench or a hammer or just,
blunt force.
I'm a blunt force kind of guy.
Yep. It like you said, it's nothing super duper special, but it's fun, and like you can just play it for like 20-30 minutes or an hour, right? Like you can you can play it in short bursts, or
I've been playing I like it in short bursts. I think more than an hour, and then you're like, it's a little much.
Right.
But yeah.
It's pretty cool. I'll finish that. I know I'll finish that.
Me too.
I've also been playing a game that just came out in early access on Steam called Tape to Tape, which is a roguelike hockey game.
Oh, okay. I've seen this. Yeah.
So it's basically like NHL 94, old school Sega Genesis hockey, but with a roguelike attached to it. So like you're getting new talents for your players, and you're playing different types of teams. Like the first boss team that you play against is a bunch of referees. And then like the referee is cheating for them while you play against them. It's really fun. I'm on like the third. I've gotten up to the third level. I'm in the middle of a run right now. It's called Tape to Tape. If you like those old school hockey games, it's really great. If you grew up playing Genesis hockey, you're gonna love, and you like roguelikes, you're gonna love to Tape to Tape. So that's that.
I've been playing Halo 3.
I heard of that
game.
Yeah, I've heard of that game. I played a lot of that.
Still pretty good.
Still good.
We're getting ready to finish that one up.
Nice.
Good luck.
Nice.
Thanks. We're finishing the fight. That was that one, right? Was Halo 3 finishing the fight?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Which one of these am I finishing the fight in?
They never finish the fight.
Halo 4. I don't know.
I don't think it was 4. I want to say 3 was where we were finishing the fight. 4, we're just walking around not fighting anybody. I believe. I think that's what 4 was.
And that was Halo Reach, I think.